Hey, everybody, happy Sunday. Hope you're doing great today. I'm in a little bit different setting because we're in the middle of a process of going through a program. Shelly in my office and I invited my pal Jason Bradshaw to join me as well. We are a part of an event that's going on this weekend. It's called the Virtual Event on Virtual Events, but it's an instructional program on how do you create virtual events. I've got a program getting ready to come out on post-pandemic events, on how the meetings industry is going to change if you're a meeting professional or speaker or whatever, and working on that as well. But we've been attending this conference all weekend long. So we've got another session that's starting in 10 minutes. So this is going to be an abbreviated version of Daily Distinction. But I wanted to talk about that because I've had such an incredible experience this weekend, and it's really been important to be a part of. Hey, Dwayne, great to see you. Yeah, June's right here, isn't it? I don't know about you. I'm ready for this month to end. It's good. Hey, Brian, always great seeing you. And thank you. Brian has been kind enough to take a couple of quotes from what I've been talking about here and has turned them into a meme and posted them. And I really, really, really appreciate it. That is so cool, Brian. And I can't thank you enough for that. That is really awesome. And if you don't follow Brian, you should, because he's a great follow. So from Vegas all the way to Wisconsin, I really appreciate it. Scott, having a good weekend. We have spent the entire weekend. It started on Friday. I took a break on Friday to do the program, and then I did a keynote for him, a 15-minute keynote, which was crazy. I haven't done that forever, but at this program, I know the folks that are doing it, and they have managed and run the events at a couple of things that I've done. And they said, would you come on and show how a keynote might work at a virtual event? So I did a quick 15-minute keynote. I got to tell you, folks, I did not realize how spoiled I am in terms of time, because usually when I'm doing a keynote, they give me an hour, sometimes 75 minutes. I mean, that's just for a keynote. And to say do that in 15 minutes, I can barely say my name in 15 minutes. So it's worked out pretty wild. Oh my goodness, Brian, I can't thank you enough for that. I really, really appreciate that. You made my day. Thank you. Hey, Jerry, yeah, we're still in there about virtual, getting ready to go in. I've joined the LEAP group, and only the folks that it's an advanced year-long group. So I joined that. I want to get this down. Want to know more about it. So I'm doing that. Charles, great to see you. Oh, I bet it is beautiful on March 90th. Have you seen the meme that's going around? It's really great. It's congratulating the astronauts. This is a perfect time to leave the planet. So, and I don't mean to make light of it, because there are some really, really challenging things going on right now. And we talked about it yesterday. And, I don't want to ignore that. I mean, that's why we talked about it to some degree yesterday. But I also hope that these minutes that we share together every day can kind of be an oasis of sanity, if that makes sense. A time that you're not hearing about what you can read on social media or see on CNN or Fox or MSNBC. That's that. I'm not ignoring it. But by choice, we're talking about other topics, and I hope that you can understand where I'm coming from there, because there's a million places that you can go and learn about that. But want to show want to show you that. Hey, Bruce, great question, and it's part of what I'm going to talk about in the course, the program I'm preparing. But what you did just there is an example. You've got to set up the virtual where you can do Q&A. And you've got to set up the virtual where you can get audience response. Now, they've got 1,400 people in this program that I'm attending. But part of what they're doing is they're on the stage pretty much like what you give a speech on, except instead of the audience, they have all these, what are they, Jerry, probably 52-inch monitors. They've probably got 8 or 10 of them. And it's a Zoom platform, so they can see everybody. I mean, unlike what we can do here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, they're doing it on Zoom, so they can see the faces. They even, back here. Yeah, they even sent like these little things that if you have an idea, you can hold that up. They've got another one that's a heart. So it's really, really cool in terms of how they are, getting audience response on that. And I think that's really the key. The other thing is they're getting us into breakout groups. So they'll just say, hey, we're going to go into a breakout, and all of a sudden the screen changes and it's you and three other people, and you have these breakout discussions. So it's incredibly cool technology. Is it 12, Jerry? Yeah, it really is unreal. I saw it. That it's the same setup that they used a couple of weeks ago for the Jeff Walker program. And, it's really like, well, I don't know if you were watching last evening, but Barry saw that I was sitting there watching. Oh, and there's Scott. And by the way, I'm like, holy cow, I'm just sitting here watching, and she's doing that. So, yeah, I'm lucky I'm not funny. I have people tell me that all the time. That's the hardest thing. But it's really funny, and I've talked to a lot of speakers about this. What's going on now is more like my old broadcasting training and experience and background, not my speaking. Which is really, really interesting, is that this is more like when I was on radio and you turned the mic on and you didn't get audience response, and you didn't, as opposed to speaking. It's just a different ballgame. Yeah, it's going to totally change the way. You too, Jerry. I guess that's true. So, and Dwayne, you're right. Boy, pandemic is, we were wondering on here a few days ago. I told the story a while back. When I was a kid, I remember asking my mom, would there be a day in my life that we would get in the car, turn the radio on, and the first story wasn't Vietnam? When I was a kid, I remember Mom driving me to school and me asking that question. And and I'm sure it's different for depending on what respective ages people are. And I can imagine folks saying, gosh, how long is it going to be before the pandemic isn't the first story on the news? Well, I guess now we know. It's certainly a change. Charles, no, it's not Jerry Jeff Walker. This guy is Jeff Walker, and he does a thing called Product Launch Formula. And that's really my only message of today, is that we've got to keep learning. Our friend Jerry that's here is at that program as well. And there's some other folks that I know that are part of the program. And this is the second weekend of the last three. So 2 out of the last 3 weekends, I've spent the entire weekend on these courses that are from 8 a.m. to 5, 6, 7 p.m. I'm not trying to set myself up as the example, but what I am suggesting to you is that we all have to continue to learn. One of my favorite quotes of all time is Benjamin Franklin, who said, an investment in knowledge always pays the highest dividends. And whether you're in the midst of a pandemic and sheltering in place, or whether we are back out going to restaurants and events or whatever it might be, when we make that investment in knowledge, when we make that investment in learning, that's what's, I think, going to pay the highest dividends. And this certainly is not intended to be financial advice for you, because I'm not qualified to do that. But one of the things I've noticed is the investments that have paid off for me have been the ones that I've put into my own business, into my own learning, into myself. It's kind of interesting, and Jerry, you'll relate to this. It's interesting because I've gone. What I'm going through in my process is where I work on the stages owned by other people, if that makes sense. Apple books me for, I did a series of 4 programs for them. They own that stage, right? I'm there to work. And now it's transitioning to a sense of ownership. It's just like this program here. I can talk about what I want to talk about because it's my show. It's my daily distinction. You do that at your seminars. And so we're going to the spot from where we worked on other people's stages to owning our own stage. And I think those investments really, really pay off. So the question that I'd ask you, and I'm asking myself all the time, is how much are you investing in you? How much are you investing in your knowledge, in your wisdom, and in your personal growth? Charles, I appreciate that. I hope so. That's the goal. And I hope it's working that way for you. Evolve or die. Yeah, Brian, that's it, isn't it? I mean, it's And you know, we always heard it was the strong that defeated the weak. And then the book came out, and it's called "It's the Fast That Eat the Slow." And I think it's changed to it's. I don't want to say the smart that eat the dumb. I don't mean it that way. That's a horrible way to put it. But it is those that are willing to grow that eat those that are unwilling. That makes sense, right? It's those that are willing to change and move and be relevant and be, keep moving forward. That defeat those who aren't. Oh, is it, Jerry? 30 minutes from your house. Oh man, see, there you go. That's what we're doing here too. You can see from the light over here, we're moving stuff around and we're continuing to evolve and create your own studio, because this is where it's going to be. So, hey, it's a shortened version. I've got to get back to the program, but I want to be here every day for you. But just the nugget today is continue to learn. And that's why we have Distinction Nation set up. There's a course there you can download for free. There's white papers and ebooks. It's absolutely free. It reminds me of the old Jim Rohn story. The knowledge of the world is at your local library. In fact, they even give you the library card for free. But so few people take advantage of it. They bring the books to your house. Right? You got to go get it, and most people won't. Well, Distinction Nation is there for you, and most people don't. But I hope you do. Just go and take advantage of it, because it's a great resource that is there for you, absolutely free. Hey, we got Jay Baer is one of our guests coming up this week. He'll be here on Thursday. He is one of the best, and do a Google search, learn more about him. Also, we're going to have some other fun guests that are going to be coming up this coming week. Got a great week planned for you of Daily Distinction every day at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific time. I look forward to seeing you then, and keep learning. We all need to do that. No matter how successful we are, no matter what you've achieved or what you hope to achieve, that's what we have to do. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Daily Distinction.